As most of you know, Coach Mike Leach passed away Monday night, December 12th, after complications to a heart condition. The memorial service was actually today as we record at 2:00 at Humphrey Coliseum on campus at Mississippi State. He was one of our absolute favorite personalities to discuss, and we dedicate this bowl preview episode to him. I think that's only appropriate. So I know we didn't know Mike Leach personally, but I don't know any other coach outside of the SEC that we followed quite like him before he got to Mississippi State. I don't know any other coach who we celebrated with the same excitement being hired into the SEC. And if you guys recall, we played the Pirates of the Caribbean theme that episode for that announcement. And he truly reminded us that though the game is to be taken seriously, and he certainly did, it's also possible to have fun at the same time and maybe even have a laugh or two in the process. So in that spirit, I think we are going to do a montage here of Mike Leach discussing a hypothetical Pac-12 mascot battle royale, Bigfoot, aliens, Halloween candy, and his very strong feelings on weddings.
Well, first of all, what kind of mythical powers does a Sun Devil have? We've got to consider that. I'm going to say the Wildcat's out. The Trojan, does he have a horse or is he on foot? Does he have a bow and arrow or just his sword? The Bruin, definitely formidable. Another bear up there at Cal. The tree, I imagine that tree's going to get chopped down, unless we're going to go with the bird and somebody might get pecked or something. I don't know. And then the duck might lose interest and just fly away and get out of there, which may be good advice under the circumstances. The husky, no chance. The beaver, well, we'll see how long that beaver can hold his breath. The ute, again, we're back to, is he on horseback? Does he have a bow and arrow? Did he trade for a rifle? I mean, because if that ute's got a rifle, there's some definite problems. And, you'd have to get one of those Harry Potter activists to read up on how you kill a Sun Devil, because there's a lot of outside stuff there. Just as far as a beast alone, a buffalo's going to be pretty hard to tangle with. I mean, a buffalo's utterly outstanding. Well, but Butch is going to have to be clear-minded and crafty. I mean, Butch will find a way. There's no question. The Cougar will find a way. Clear-minded and crafty, a combination of stay out of harm's way and attack when you get your chances or your openings.
I hope there's Bigfoot. I don't think there is. The reason I don't think there is because we've found bones of dinosaurs and everything else, but we haven't found bones that I've heard of Bigfoot. Aliens, I suspect there is, and I don't know that they're little green men, and I don't know that they're specifically in our galaxy. Why wouldn't God build other Earths and other places? Why only this one? And even if you're an evolution guy and lightning striking mud and popping in, I mean, and then they say, well, the notion of God is far-fetched. Oh, really? Striking mud and then light, sparking out of there, and then it going like that. Well, that's just such an obvious, easy path to follow.
We talked about on the broadcast how you hate candy corn. What's your favorite Halloween
candy corn? I completely hate candy corn. When I was a kid, gummy bears, let's see. Gummy bears for sure.
Sour or regular?
The Haribo. It's got to be the Haribo ones. And then the other thing I like is when they used to have the sprees in a box. Outstanding. You have to go to the dollar store to find it, but I do. And then the latest, there's still candy innovation, although a while back I found that Europe had better candy than we did overall, because they have gummy everything. And then, they have those Nerds clusters, which is new.
With the gummy.
Yeah, which is good. The Nerds clusters is good. And then if you go chocolate, probably Almond Joy.
Love it. Hopefully you'll get some of that next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
I know you have strong thoughts on weddings. I'm in the middle of planning one right now. Do you have any advice for me?
Who are you marrying?
His name is Trevor.
Okay, yeah, well, I'll have to set up a meeting and I'll talk to him. Okay, so where's Trevor from?
He's from Florida.
What does Trevor do for a living?
He works in sports as well, covers football.
He does what?
He covers football as well.
Really? Well, I don't know. We'll keep a close eye on it, but whatever you and Trevor decide, I would kind of keep it on the down low, which you failed to do that. Trevor was probably planning to, but you didn't. So go ahead and don't say anything else about it, but as soon as the season's over, or even an off week, go elope. Trust me on that. Go elope. Because basically every female in the family is going to terrorize you guys until it's over. Once it's over, I mean, they'll be upset for a few days, but it'll be over. And then, you know, you cruise along, have a happy marriage, have a happy life.
I'll pass along the message. Thanks, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Trevor, unless he's crazy, is totally on my side. And trust me on this. If Trevor doesn't have the sense to do that, tell him to call me, because, I mean, he needs to do. I've told all my kids, I'll give you $10,000 extra if you elope. So far, they haven't done it, but I would, too.
I'll have him call you.
Oh, Lord.
I am so sad I won't get to write my letter when I decide to elope one day.
Right.
Have Mike Leach endorse it.
Yeah.
Well, he really went all in on the candy situation, didn't he? And
innovation.
Just the analytical tear down of Pac-12 mascot battle.
Oh yeah.
God,
item by item.
I miss him already, and he's been gone for like a week.
Yeah,
Harry Potter activist.
Harry Potter activist. And then the whole marriage thing. He went all in that one too. And he even had the opportunity. She was trying to, stop the interview or, to cut it to a close. And he kept going. He's like, well, Trevor, if he's on my side, unless he's crazy, is on my side.
I think that's the thing. Mike Leach was all in. Regardless of what the topic was, he was all in.
He was all in and very personable too. Like he could have, said, okay, I'm busy. I got my own things to do. But he gave more time there. And I don't know, did you guys have anything to say or any like a special, like a favorite moment of Mike Leach? And one of those might be it. I don't know. I mean,
there's so many different things you could bring into the equation to discuss Mike Leach. He's definitely one of those very unique characters in college football that the sport is poor today not having him involved.
Yeah.
And, it really stinks because we followed him since he took the job at Texas Tech. I think he got hired at Texas Tech in, was it 02 or 01? He was at Texas Tech in the early 2000s. And, he'd gone there from Oklahoma, and he'd had a lot of success in all these different spots. And I remember watching ESPN, and they would interview him after Tech games, and he'd be like, this dude's nutso. There's no chance this guy's an actual, serious coach. But, I mean, he climbed up. He, went Texas Tech job didn't end very well, but he ended up going to the Pac-12 for a couple years and then came to the SEC after we'd been clamoring for him to come over here for a while. There was a chance he could have been Tennessee's head coach for a second there as well. But, he's just one of those unique cats that we're never going to see another Mike Leach. We're just
No, he was one for the nerds. I mean, he never played football. He knew it. He was an analytical mind, a battlefield mind. And I am very jealous of those that got to take his warfare class.
Oh my God, that had to have been the greatest class ever.
I'm so jealous, and I can only hope that they recorded some of those lectures and will one day put them online for us to watch, because that would be very special.
Yeah, I liked the mascot thing. I liked the there's another one where he talks about student loans, and that one is hilarious. Where would he spend time in jail if his student loans could be forgiven, and just that whole thing.
That interview.
That's like a 9-minute interview, but you're on the edge of your seat the whole time because you're wondering where the story's going next.
I read something about how he had somebody call the office when he was at Washington, and they called and somebody overheard the conversation, and he talked to this guy for like 35 minutes. And then when he hung up the phone, the coach was like, "Hey, coach, who was that?" He's like, "I don't know. They had the wrong number."
Yes.
He's just a personable character who would just talk and talk and talk. And just like you said, Wes, you'd be on the edge of your seat hanging on every word because he's such a good storyteller.
Right. And did you guys know that he was in the SEC before? He was with Kentucky. He was
Yeah,
an
he's
assistant at
under
Kentucky.
Oh, right.
Under
And
Joker
actually, that's
Phillips,
kind
right?
of and that's kind of where they developed the air raid,
Mhm.
the concept for that at least.
He coached
So
at Valdosta State for a while too, because Joker Phillips was the offense coordinator at Valdosta, or he might have been the head coach at Valdosta State before he took the Kentucky job.
yeah,
And he brought Mike with him, I think, if I'm remembering it correctly. My old athletic director at Mossy he played under Mike Leach for a bit at
oh wow,
Valdosta.
wow. I bet he's
If I
got some
remember
stories.
correctly.
Yeah, like you said, Matt, the college football world needs more personalities like him. He will be sorely missed. We will always smile at the memories and fun moments he provided all of us. Although, so it is, talking about what are they going to do now, which is, a crazy thing to, right away think about, but it's something that they have to do. But in terms of the bowl game, Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated wrote, I don't think it was a question, but of course, Mississippi State will play in its bowl game. As one state official told me earlier this morning, Mike would be pissed if we didn't play. The bowl game is at a stadium with an actual pirate ship in it. So, of course, they're going to play in that.
And he would have been like, "Can I see the pirate ship?" The minute
he would have
got on
expected
Analyzed it and
the
told
minute
them
he got there, he'd been like, "Listen, I just gotta go see it."
Looking at the cannon that they fire during touchdowns and things like,
he would have looked at it and been like, that is not periodic, like correct for the period. Technically, they had this, and this. And if you really want to get technical, you would have this guy placed here and he would have this, and he'd be one of those guys.
He would have had
was my spirit animal. I do that crap all the time when I go places.
He would have had his 3-cornered hat and sword and all that stuff. So yeah, believe me, his memory will live on. I have no doubt that we will be sharing clips of his wit and wisdom for years to come.